Hello, and welcome to this edition of The List on UWW-TV. I'm Mason Miller, alongside Nadiri Morgan Thompson. For the next few minutes, we'll present our top 5 sports stories of the week and discuss why they made the top 5. Did your top 5 make our list? Let's find out. At number 5, the UW Whitewater football team sent the fans home happy with a win after beating UW River Falls 13-7. This homecoming win came just 1 week after another low-scoring game against UW Platteville that ended in a 10-17 loss. With their last 2 games coming on the road, how do you see Whitewater closing out the season?
You know, first of all, Mason, I think saying that they sent the fans home happy is an overstatement, right? That was a terrible game to watch. Terrible, right? 13-7 is homecoming. We want to hear the cannon go off. We want to get some touchdowns. I only heard the cannon one time, right, quite frankly. It was devastating. You know, Whitewater football, the Warhawks this year are not doing very good, and it's because, well, we haven't been doing good all year. All of our losses come for one reason, the offense, right? We have yet to find a consistent quarterback, and that rushes into our rushing attack. Our rushing attack has low-key been good, right? Ty Schultz, 137 yards. Pretty great game. Jackson Christ, 126 yards. Not a very good game. 1 interception, right? And the bad quarterback play is going into our rushing attack, which is making our offense weaker. And that's why the Warhawks are cooked. Hibachi meat, dog water, anything bad you can think of associated with the Warhawks because we are terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough coming into the season, imagining the Warhawks to be one of the upper echelon teams in Division III football, as they typically are. We've been seeing a lot of things that just aren't normal to see from the Warhawks. I mean, our rushing game is clearly the best part of our offense, but our QB play has been shaky at best. Now, there's still a little bit of hope if the teams that are still above us in the standings can miraculously lose their games. We're still kind of treading water, but for the most part, we're drowning. But good luck moving forward, and hopefully we can turn things around for the Warhawks. Anyways, though, at number 4, the WWE Crown Jewel took place this Saturday, bringing with it a plethora of results and takeaways. The premium live event took place in Saudi Arabia and included many key matchups, such as Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton, and Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins. So, after an eventful night, what are some takeaways you have from the Crown Jewel event?
You know, Crown Jewel was beautiful. But it was beautiful and sad, right? It was sad because the bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy, they lost to that snake, Solo Sikoa. And I hate that, right? On the bright side of things, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, became the Crown Jewel champ. He beat Gunther, right? Liv Morgan beat Nia Jax, became the Women's Crown Jewel champ. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair returned their championships. Seth Rollins beat Bronson Reed. It was a great night, besides the OG tribal chief failing, you know what I mean? I will say one thing, right? Saudi Arabia's crowd is still very disrespectful to women wrestlers, and that's why they're quite frankly not ready to host a major wrestling event like WrestleMania. But at the end of the day, it was a very nice premium live event.
I mean, I hear what you're saying about the original tribal chief and whatnot. And I mean, I'm not the biggest WWE guy anymore. Definitely as a little kid with all that, I used to be huge on the WWE. But bro, at some point, you gotta let some of these older guys go. Roman Reigns, his beard's getting gray. They gotta let him go. Seth Rollins, he's been bending over backwards for the WWE for the last, as long as I can remember. I haven't watched WWE in a long time. It might be time to let them old guys go and acknowledge your new tribal chief, Solo Sikoa. At number 3 on our list, the NBA continues to flirt with the idea of expansion. Rumors have begun to resurface as the possibility of 32 teams seems to be growing more likely. There are many marketable cities to choose from, but which 2 do you think will actually get a team?
Quite frankly, Mason, the number 1 choice for everybody is so obvious. It's been obvious for, almost my whole life. Ever since Seattle lost their team, we knew that they should bring another team back to Seattle, right? The Seattle Supersonics have to be great again. The Oklahoma City Thunder have already agreed that if the Seattle Supersonics get back into the league, that they get their legacy back, right? The Sonics' legacy will be restored, and we need to have a team in Seattle again. However, number 2, I'm going to take a little bit of a sleeper, right? I'm picking Mexico City over Las Vegas, right? Las Vegas is not ready for a major sports team, right? They don't treat the Raiders the right way, and the Raiders, quite frankly, suck, right? Mexico City is a very homey place, right? They have a team in Canada. You might as well be all around North America. Give us a team in Mexico City.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you say. I 100% agree with the idea of the Seattle Supersonics coming back. That just is the obvious choice. If they add an expansion team and don't bring back Seattle, that's like, come on now. That's just a blatant slap in the face to the city of Seattle. And the way they treat the Seahawks, as happy as that crowd gets for that team, I feel like it just makes sense for them to go back to Seattle. But I'm going to have to disagree with you here and say that I would like to see a team in Las Vegas. I feel like Raiders fans, despite how bad the Raiders consistently suck, they are continuously going out there and at least somewhat supporting them, despite the fact they don't have much good to watch. Giving them a basketball team could give that city a little bit something to be a little bit more happy about. Anyways, though, we've got more coming up on the list, including the Dodgers World Series win and the NFL trade deadline. We'll be right back on the list.
Have you heard of UROC?
We're part of Whitewater and our own thing.
Come on, we'll show you.
I learned how to be a college student here, and now I'm headed off to Madison to study global health, and I know I'm ready.
People like me who aren't a fan of big crowds would really like UROC because it's welcoming and it's laid back.
My advisor helped me figure out my schedule, organize my time, fill out my FAFSA, and figure out what classes I liked and how to turn that into a major. And if I had to do it again, I would choose UROC.
You ready to rock?
You belong here.
For Hawk Talk, especially on days I'm hosting, you really need to be up early looking at those news stories, even the night before. I'm finding topics that I can incorporate in the show, and I feel like we get a conversation going.
Once you get the opportunity to do that with other people who appreciate it the same level as you do, it makes it that much more enjoyable.
For everything sports, tune in Monday through Thursday at 91.7 The Edge or watch us on UWW TV.
Your home for excellence in action. The WIAC Network. Watch and download here.
It's always been there, his love of the outdoors. Some days, you wonder if it might be his calling. Truth is, you know that the things he's passionate about today will build the foundation of what he does tomorrow, and possibly inspire a new journey. All he needs now is a way to make it happen. We are the Universities of Wisconsin. 13 universities, unlimited opportunity.
Welcome back to The List on UWW-TV. Let's continue the countdown to this week's top sports stories. At number 2 on our list, the Los Angeles Dodgers finished the job in New York on their way to becoming the World Series champions. This is the Dodgers' 8th World Series victory, and this extends the Yankees' drought to 16 years. So, how does this result affect the Dodgers, Yankees, and the MLB as a whole?
You know what I mean? Like, I come on this show week after week, and I try to give alternate opinions, right? Mason, from the very beginning, was riding the Dodgers, right? So I did the only thing I could do. I rooted for the underdogs. I rooted for the Yankees. And this is what you guys do to me. You extend your 16-year streak of being terrible. You know what I mean? You have all this money, all these rich owners, and you can't do anything. And I'll have to go on TV and I have to be embarrassed, right? How do I look my co-host in his eyes after saying that the Yankees were going to win for the last 2-3 weeks? And I'm wrong, man. I'm supposed to go on the show to make accurate predictions and be a smart analyst, and this is what you're doing to me, Yankees. Quite frankly, I'm disrespected.
I mean, I get it. You don't even worry about looking me in the eyes. It's okay. And I get rooting for the underdogs. They were the underdogs for sure. And what did the LA Otanis do? Sent the underdogs running home with their tails between their legs. That's how you handle business. I think on here I might have said that it was going to be a sweep or saying that it was going to go to 5 games. But on a different show, I called it was going to go to 5 games because, I mean, at least one day they'd let them get one and be nice, give them a little bit of hope, make those New York guys go, oh, yeah, we have a chance. But they never really had a chance. They did so good, my LA Otanis, that Shohei Ohtani didn't even have to try. That's what greatness looks like. And congrats to the Dodgers for getting the job done. Finally, at number 1 on our spot of the week, The NFL trade deadline has arrived, and with it, endless speculation. There are many players who have already been shipped out, such as Zadarius Smith to the Lions and Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders. With so many transactions, which do you see having the biggest impact?
You know what I mean, right? The Lions, you might as well put them boys in the Super Bowl right now. The Lions are winning the championship, right? They have the offense. Jared Goff, he might be him. He's not him, but he does what he needs to do. You know what I mean? And they got Zadarius Smith to replace Aiden Hutchinson for the year, and I think that's going to push them over the top. The Commanders getting Marshawn Lattimore. That's a very nice pickup, but you're a Cinderella story, man. You're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. You're not going to make the NFC Championship. You'll be lucky if you make the divisional, but it's cool, build a decent team around Jayden Daniels. Underrated team I want to talk about, them Steelers, right? Russell Wilson, they gave him Mike Williams, and Preston Smith on the defense. The Steelers are building a decent team for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's going to take them far, probably farther than the Commanders are going to go with Jayden Daniels, quite frankly.
I get what you're saying. Also, this is actually crazy that this was actually the way I found out that Marshawn Lattimore got traded. That is, to me, an insane trade because Marshawn Lattimore, in my opinion, is probably still a top 10 level cornerback. And I think the Commanders' defense was, if anything, their weakest part of the team, if you had to say that it is even weak. Their pass defense was definitely where they needed a lot of work at. And I feel like Marshawn Lattimore is a really good cornerback. It is going to suck not seeing him and Mike Evans go at it over and over every single year with him being on the Saints. But the Saints are horrible, had to make some type of move. But I like all the trades going on in the NFL. Hopefully the Packers can do something besides trade people away for a bag of chips. Anyways, though, that will do it for this edition of The List. We'll be back next week to talk up the latest sports headlines. For Nadiri Morgan Thompson and the members of the UWW TV crew, I'm Mason Miller. See you then.